Hello everyone, and welcome once again to another video for the channel. After getting lost in the wild jungles of California, Yucatan, on the way home, I met new creatures. That's right, we're talking about the Naturalist mod. One of the most famous animal mods, for both Java and Bedrock. Just because, before you ask me in the comments, this mod is available for both versions. But before starting, let me ask you please, you subscribe and leave your like, since that will be helping me a lot to continue uploading content like every week, and why not? You could also become a member of the channel. I leave it there, and with nothing more to say. Now let's get started. Yes. This mod is called Naturalist. An amazing animal mod, each with new utilities, designs and animations. Dive into this new adventure, where you will meet new creatures, blocks and tools that await you in this wild new world. Bears are great predators. Living in forest and taiga biomes, they love to sleep. Swimming and hunting deer or fish will be neutral. But if they find a puppy, these will attack nearby players. They will also be able to feed on salmon, honeycombs and berries, even being able to interact with other blocks to take them, like bonfires, fence bushes, and beehives. They can be sheared with scissors, but only when they sleep. Well, if we do this, when they are awake, they will be angry with their hair and a block of wool. We will be able to create the teddy bear. Butterflies will go passive mods that will appear in forest biomes. These will have the ability to pollinate, like bees. These will have 5 variants, in addition to its caterpillar shape that may appear if we put 2 butterflies together, giving them flowers. This caterpillar approaches a tree will become a chrysalis that we can cut out with scissors. But if we decide to leave it for a few minutes, this will become a butterfly. And of course, we can also catch them with the insect net. In this way, getting the butterflies to place them on frames, or release them with right click. Deer are peaceful creatures that will live in forest or cherry blossom biomes. These will be the main prey of the bears. And being defeated, these will be leaving you the deer meat and its antlers, which will serve as an ingredient to create a new variant of the speed potion, being somewhat more powerful, but in exchange, giving us the effect of weakness. Fireflies are small creatures that may appear at night, in forests or plains. But if it were to become daylight, they will end up hiding underground, and then disappear. But we can avoid it by placing it inside jars, or by putting a name tag on it. When you die, they can leave you the luminous sticky that we will use to create the luminous arrows, or use it as a torch. Although unfortunately, this will not be fully compatible with shades. The snail will be a small creature that will slowly crawl across any surface. Appear in various biomes such as the forest, plains, swamps, savannas, and even the mycelium biome. When they die, they can leave you slime balls, or their shell, with which we will be able to make new building blocks. We can also store them in buckets, so that they can be renamed with an anvil, or simply to transport them. And be careful, once we release it, it will discolor. Even so, we can change its color with different dyes. The snail will be able to reproduce by giving it beetroot, causing the latter to leave its eggs. Alligators are powerful neutral reptiles that will live in swamp biomes. They will have the ability to move both in water as on land. However, if we get close to their eggs, they will come to attack us. We can reproduce these by giving them meat. And if you wonder, no, they won't be leaving you anything when they die. Sea bass will be a new fish variant that we can only find in swamps or rivers. These can be taken in a bucket like any fish, and when we die we can cook it. The catfish is a large aquatic creature that will swim through the swamp biomes due to its large size. This one usually eats other smaller fish, like sea bass or even tadpoles. Just like any fish, we can capture it in a bucket, and when it dies, we can cook it. Dragonflies are small flying creatures that will appear in swamp biomes. Of this, we will have 3 variants, the green, blue, and red. But the most curious thing is that if we feed it with fruit, chorus, this will make a little burp, thus leaving the dragon's breath particles. And curiously, if a frog were to eat it, we'll be releasing a new type of crystal, which, depending on the color of the dragonfly, could you leave us this same color? Ducks will be a new variant of chickens that will appear in swamp biomes, having not only the ability to walk on land, but also by water, like its distant cousins. They can release an egg every so often, and if we launch it, we will have a chance of releasing a baby duck, or even be able to use it to raise the boiled egg. Although on the other hand, if this duck were to die, it will not be shedding its feathers and its meat. Wild boars will be a new variant of pigs. They will be neutral animals that will live in forests and savannas. When we defeat them, they will leave us pork chops and their skin. Although curiously, if this were to be struck by lightning, the boar will turn into a zombie. Wild boars can be raised on carrots, potatoes, and beets. Elephants will be the largest animal in the entire mod. These will be neutral and will live in the savannah, only attacking you if you happen to hit any. Curiously, when an elephant meets a bee, this one will run away, and of course, when defeating a pup, this will only be leaving you leather. Hippos will be large animals that will live in the savannah, usually near water. Although curiously, we will also have our own structure, which will be the pond. These will be neutral unless otherwise stated that we get into the water. If it becomes the case, these will go directly to attack us. We can reproduce it if we were to give him a whole block of watermelon. That is, only if they are in the water. Giraffes are curious, passive animals that will live in the savanna biomes. These can be raised with hay blocks. But the interesting thing here is that if we give them an apple, we can mutate them for a minute. In addition to giving us the ability to fill in a much faster map, thus expanding our field of vision, a medium chunky. Lions are large, powerful, neutral felines that will live in the savannah. We will have two variants of these, which will be the male and the female, each pack having a leader. These will be the males, which the lion cubs, and the females will be following. However, during the day, they will remain completely passive, while at night they will begin to hunt. Among its favorite prey are the zebra, the wild boar, and the rhinoceros. Continuing, we will have the vultures. These will be great scavengers that will live in the savannah, wastelands, and deserts. These will do absolutely nothing, rather than flying around the biome. However, if they were to encounter any zombies, these will go to attack him. Well, it's their favorite food. The strands will be a new variant of horses. These will appear in savanna biomes. But unlike its relatives, horses will be more skittish, running if a player were to get close. And they will also be able to move a little faster. On the water, we will be able to tame them in the same way as a horse, but we can speed up the process, giving them golden apples, being a very good way to move around. For this biome, rhinos will be large armored animals that will live in the savannas. They will not be aggressive unless they are hit, or approach them with a baby nearby. In this case, the rhinoceros will charge his attack for a few seconds and then shoot off in a straight line. However, we can stun him if we cover ourselves with a shield, in this way being able to counterattack or escape. Well, since we finished with all the basic animals, we will have 3, depending on the biome in which we find it. Your appearance will be changing. Starting with the lizards, these will be small, docile animals. Depending on the biome in which we find it today, your appearance will change, having a total of 4. In this case, in the desert, it will be a bearded dragon. In savanna, it will be a gecko. In the woods, there was a salamander, and in the jungles was an iguana. If any of these were to be hit, they can even drop their tail, which again, we will have to hit to release the item from the queue. We can only use this queue as a source of food. The good news is that if the lizard were to survive, can regenerate its tail. However, instead of finishing them off, I would recommend that you domesticate them. For this, we will only have to give him a spider eye, being able to give him orders to follow us or sit down. Birds will be small flying creatures that can appear in different biomes. And of course, depending on the biome in which we find it, this will be different. Cardinals will appear in forests, savannas, swamps, and deserts. Canaries on cliffs or mountains. Robins in forests, mountains, and plains. Blue jays, antigas, cliffs and icy peaks. Sparrows in plains and cherry forests. And finally the finches in forests and savannas. At the same time, they will be able to sing sounds corresponding to their species, even releasing musical notes. But this can only be during the day. Besides, they can be domesticated with any type of seed, doing so that we can give him the order to stay still, or do not follow the land turtles. Will be a little bigger than the classic Minecraft ones, and of course, depending on where we find it, its color will be changing. In this case, it will be black if the biome is jungle. It was green if the biome is swampy, and finally coffee if the biome is desert. Also, if they notice any player near them, they will hide, but they will stop being afraid of us if we press shift. Turtles can be domesticated and mates with dandelions, brown mushrooms, cactus, or bamboo, making her sit or wander around. As you could see, this is a mod with quite a few creatures and very interesting. And although some do not have as many uses, its main function, it will be to give more life to our world. But now tell me, if you liked this mod, you would download it. Or what other type of mod would you like to see appear in an upcoming video? I will be reading you in the comments. Well guys, I hope you liked it. That are fun. That is the most important thing for me. If you liked the video, I would ask you to please leave your like. You will comment. What other type of video would you like to see on the channel? And subscribe. That is very important. Remember that rhinos don't eat vanilla ice cream. And see you in the next video. Bye.